Now, Saudi Arabia has replaced its ambassador to the U.S. with its first female envoy. Princess Reema bint Bandar takes over from the king's son, Prince Khalid bin Salman, who's been appointed vice defense minister. The princess is the daughter of a former ambassador to the U.S. and previously worked for Saudi Arabia's General Sports Authority, promoting women's participation in the Olympics. Let's bring in Rami Khouri. He's a senior fellow and professor at the American University of Beirut. He joins us live now from the Lebanese capital. Rami, good to have you back. I mean, this is the first time that Saudi Arabia has chosen a woman in an ambassador role. So how significant is the appointment? Is this all about Riyadh trying to improve its battered image abroad?
It's certainly a public relations attempt to improve relations with Washington, which are quite dismal now, except between Mohammed bin Salman and Jared Kushner and Donald Trump. Virtually all other levels of government, there is serious tension between Riyadh and Washington. The problem that the Saudis have is that they don't have much credibility because of their policies, not because of the people they appoint. And Princess Reema is probably a very qualified, intelligent, amiable, and articulate woman, but she will have no chance to do anything if the policies of the Saudi government in Yemen, internally in Saudi Arabia, dealing with the Khashoggi killing aftermath, if those policies don't change, then she will just find herself in the same situation as Aljazeera before her, former ambassador, former foreign minister, whose reputation was really tarnished very badly because he was caught up in the web of lies that came up after the Khashoggi killing. So this is what we have to wait and see. We wish her well, and we hope that her appointment actually represents maybe the beginning of some kind of change, but there's no sign of that.
Rami, so just talk us through briefly what sort of challenges is the princess likely to face? I mean, as you say, Congress is on the warpath over US involvement in the war in Yemen. They want to see a much tougher line taken against the Saudis over the Khashoggi murder. So is she up to the job, do you think?
We don't know. We have to wait and see. She's never been tested in this way. She's had some positions in Saudi Arabia that sounded quite fascinating, but nothing compared to the political challenges she's going to face in Washington. The Congress is particularly hostile, including senior Republican members of Congress, and the Congress sent a formal request to the Trump presidency to deal with the holding accountable Saudi officials after the killing of Khashoggi, and the Trump White House ignored the deadline to respond to that. And there are now congressional committees investigating various dimensions of U.S.-Saudi relations, including the latest is the attempt, apparently, to sell nuclear plants to Saudi Arabia without going to Congress, as the law requires in the U.S. So there are several areas, and the war in Yemen, of course, and the internal arrest of particularly women dissidents. So there are quite a few serious issues that have to be dealt with at once, and they're all related to policy. None of them are related to personality.
Rami, just a final quick thought from you. I mean, what does this appointment mean for the Crown Prince's younger brother, Khalid bin Salman? I mean, he's been moved to the Defense Ministry, but he'd been facing mounting criticism, hadn't he, since the murder of Jamal Khashoggi?
Well, he's been implicated also and accused in terms of lying to the public in the United States and around the world in his public statements, and there's some accusations that he was complicit in the cover-up as well. Those are all accusations. They remain to be verified if they're true or not, but he also has been tarnished quite a bit. The Deputy Defense Minister job is quite an important one in Saudi Arabia, but the problem the Saudis are facing and the Crown Prince and his family is that you cannot run a country by drawing on your family. Trump is learning this. Most Arab governments have learned this, and the Saudis are learning it now. The defense ministry is a particularly important one because of the war in Yemen, which has been a catastrophe, and the Saudis don't seem to know how to wage war. They don't seem to know how to end the war. And this is another problem that he's going to have to face with. So he's been pushed sideways. He hasn't really been demoted that much. This is a very important position that he holds, so we'll see how he responds.
Rami Khouri, thank you very much indeed for your time.